Scorpio woman Aries man. Scorpio and Aries are astrologically related through the planet Mars, so when you meet each other you recognize a kindred spirit. You both may believe you have found your true soulmate, for a while. Although it's possible you could find happiness with a man as rambunctious as his zodiacal symbol the ram, it's uncertain how long that happiness would last. An Aries who has made his mark in the world and is somewhat steadfast in his outlooks and attitudes could be quite a catch for you. On the other hand, men under this sign are often swift-footed and quick-minded. Their industrious mannerisms may fail to impress you, especially if you feel that much of their get-up and go often leads nowhere. When it comes to a fine romance, you want someone with a nice, broad shoulder to lean on. You are likely to find a relationship with someone who doesn't like to stay put for too long somewhat upsetting. The Aries man may have a little trouble in understanding you, too, at least in the beginning of the relationship. He may find you a bit too shy and moody. Aries men tend to speak their minds thoughtlessly. He might criticize you at the drop of a hat. You may find a man born under this sign too demanding. He may give you the impression that he expects you to be at his beck and call. You have a lot of patience at your disposal and he may try every last bit of it. He is apt to be not as thorough as you in everything he does. In order to achieve success or a goal quickly, he will overlook small but important details, and regret it when it is too late. Being married to an Aries does not mean that you'll have a secure and safe life as far as finances are concerned. Not all Aries are rash with cash, but they lack the sound head you perhaps have for putting away something for that inevitable rainy day. He'll do his best, however, to see that you're adequately provided for, even though his efforts may leave something to be desired as far as you're concerned. With an Aries man for a mate, you'll find yourself constantly among people. Aries people generally have many friends, and you may not heartily approve of them all. Rams are often more interested in interesting people than they are in influential ones. Although there may be a family squabble from time to time, you are stable enough to be able to take it in your stride. Kids take to Aries like ducks to water. His quick mind and energetic behavior appeal to the young. His ability to jump from one thing to another will delight the kids and keep them active. The Aries father is young at heart and will spoil children every chance he gets. You must see to it that the youngsters stick to something until it is finished instead of abandoning one project after another with little to show for it. Scorpio woman Taurus man. Taurus is your zodiacal mate in the astrological scheme of things, but also your zodiacal opposite. If you've got your heart set on a man born under the sign of Taurus, you'll have to learn the art of being patient. Taurus take their time about everything, even love. The steady and deliberate Taurus man is a little slow on the draw. It may take him quite a while before he gets around to popping that question. For the woman who doesn't mind twiddling her thumbs, the waiting and anticipating almost always pays off. Taurus men want to make sure that every step they take is a good one, particularly if they feel that the path they're on leads to the altar. If you are in the mood for a whirlwind romance, you had better cast your net in shallower waters. Moreover, most Taurus prefer to do the angling themselves. They are not keen on women taking the lead. Once she does, he may drop her like a dead fish. If you let yourself get caught on his terms, you'll find that he's fallen for you, hook, line, and sinker. The Taurus man is fond of a comfortable home life. It is very important to him. If you keep those home fires burning, you will have no trouble keeping that flame in your Taurus mate's heart aglow. You have a talent for homemaking, use it. Your taste in furnishings is excellent. You know how to make a house come to life with colors and decorations. Taurus, the strong, steady, and protective bull, may not be your idea of a man on the move. Still he's reliable. Perhaps he could be the anchor for your dreams and plans. He could help you to acquire a more balanced outlook and approach to your life. If you're given to impulsiveness, he could help you to curb it. He's the man who is always there when you need him. When you tie the knot with a man born under Taurus, you can put away fears about creditors pounding on the door. Taurus are practical about everything including bill paying. When he carries you over that threshold, you can be certain that the entire house is paid for, not only the doorsill. As a wife, you won't have to worry about putting aside your many interests for the sake of back-breaking house chores. Your Taurus hubby will see to it that you have all the latest time-saving appliances and comforts. Astrologically linked together, the Scorpio-Taurus couple will make wonderful parents together. Taurus has much affection for the children, and has no trouble demonstrating his love and warmth. Yet the Taurus father does not believe in spoiling the kids. He thinks that children have a place, which is mainly to behave properly at all times. He is an excellent disciplinarian. Your Taurus husband will share with you the responsibility for bringing up obedient and polite youngsters. Scorpio woman Gemini man. Gemini men, in spite of their charm and dashing manner, may leave you puzzled and unsatisfied. They may seem to lack the sort of common sense you set so much store in. Their tendency to start something out of boredom but never finish it may do nothing more than exasperate you. You may be inclined to interpret a Gemini's jumping around from here to there as childish if not downright neurotic. A man born under the sign of the twins will seldom stay put. If you should take it upon yourself to try and make him sit still, he will resent it and say so. On the other hand, the Gemini man may think you're an opportunist, someone far too interested in security and material things. He's attracted to airy pleasures and doesn't want to get too deep about anything. You, with your intense way of looking at things most of the time, are likely to seem too serious for this kid about. If you're looking for a life of security and permanence, you'd better look elsewhere for your Mr. Right. Chances are you'll be taken by his charming ways and facile wit. Few women can resist Gemini magic. But after you've seen through his live-today, gossamer facade, you'll most likely be very happy to turn your attention to someone more stable, even if he is not as interesting. You want a man who is there when you need him. You need someone on whom you can fully rely. Keeping track of a Gemini's movements will make you dizzy. Still, if you are a patient woman, you should be able to put up with someone contrary, especially if you feel the experience may be well worth the effort. A successful and serious Gemini could make you a very happy woman, perhaps if you gave him half a chance. Although you may think he's got bats in his belfry, the Gemini man generally has a good brain and can make good use of it when he wants. Some Geminis who have learned the importance of being diligent have risen to great heights, professionally. President Kennedy was a Gemini, as was Thomas Mann and William Butler Yeats. Once you can convince yourself that not all people born under the sign of the twins are witless grasshoppers, you'll find that you've come a long way in trying to understand them. Life with a Gemini man can be more fun than a barrel of clowns. You'll never experience a dull moment. He's always the life of the party. He's a little scatterbrained when it comes to handling money most of the time. You'd better handle the budgeting and bookkeeping. The Gemini father is a pushover for the kids. He loves them so much, he generally lets them do what they want. His sense of humor is infectious, so the youngsters will naturally come to see the fun and funny sides of life. He will help to develop the children's mental and verbal skills at an early age. You will have to focus on the full emotional development of your young, which your Gemini mate might ignore. Scorpio woman Cancer man. The man born under the sign of Cancer may very well be the man after your own heart. Generally, Cancer people are steady. They are interested in security and practicality. Despite their seemingly grouchy exterior, men born under the sign of the Crab are sensitive and kind individuals. They are almost always hard workers and are very interested in becoming successful in business as well as in society. You'll find that his conservative outlook on many things often agrees with yours. He'll be a man on whom you can depend come rain or shine. He'll never shirk his responsibilities as a provider, and he'll always see to it that his wife and family never want. Your patience will come in handy if you decide it's a Cancer man you want for a mate. He isn't the type that rushes headlong into romance. He wants to be sure about love as you do. If after the first couple of months of dating, he suggests that you take a walk with him down Lover's Lane, don't jump to the conclusion that he's about to make his great play. Chances are he'll only hold your hand and seriously observe the stars. Don't let his coolness fool you, though. Beneath his starched reserve lies a very warm heart. He's just not interested in showing off as far as affection is concerned. Don't think his interest is wondering if he doesn't kiss you goodnight at the front door. That just isn't his style. For him, affection should only be displayed for two sets of eyes, yours and his. He's passionate only in private. He will never step out of line. He's too much of a gentleman for that. When you're alone with him and there's no chance of you being disturbed or spied upon, he'll pull out an engagement ring, the one that belonged to his grandmother, and slip it on your trembling finger. Speaking of relatives, you'll have to get pretty much used to the fact that Cancer men are overly fond of their mothers. When he says his mother is the most wonderful woman in the world, you'd better agree with him, that is, if you want to become his wife. He'll always be a faithful husband. Cancer men never play around after they've taken that marriage vow. They don't take marriage responsibilities lightly. He'll see to it that everything in the house runs smoothly and that bills are paid promptly, never put aside. He may take all kinds of insurance policies out on his family and property. He'll arrange it so that when retirement time rolls around, you'll both be very well off. Cancers make proud, patient, and protective fathers. But they can be a little too protective. Their sheltering instincts can interfere with a youngster's natural inclination to test the waters outside the home. Still, the Cancer father doesn't want to see his kids learning about life the hard way from the streets. Scorpio courage, steadfastness, and knowledge of right and wrong will help the youngsters cope with a variety of life situations. Scorpio woman Leo man. To know a man born under the Leo sign is not necessarily to love him, even though the temptation may be great. When he fixes most girls with his leonine double whammy, it causes their hearts to pit-to-pat and their minds to cloud over. You are a little too sensible to allow yourself to be bowled over by a regal strut and a roar. Still, there's no denying that Leo has a way with women, even sensible women like yourself. Once he's swept a girl off her feet, it may be hard for her to scramble upright again. However, you are no pushover for romantic charm, especially if you feel it's all show. He'll wine you and dine you in the fanciest places. He'll croon to you under the moon and shower you with diamonds if you can get a hold of them. But it would be wise to find out just how long that shower is going to last before consenting to be his wife. Lions in love are hard to ignore, let alone brush off. Your resistance will have a way of nudging him on until he feels he has you completely under his spell. Once mesmerized by this romantic powerhouse, you will most likely find yourself doing things you never dreamed of. Leos can be like vain pussycats when involved romantically. They like to be cuddled and adored. This may not be your cup of tea romantically. Although he may be big and magnanimous while trying to win you, he'll whine if he thinks he's not getting the tender love and care he feels is his due. If you keep him well supplied with affection, you can be sure his eyes will never look for someone else and his heart will never wander. Leo men often tend to be authoritarian. They are born to lord it over others in one way or another, it seems. If he is the top banana at his firm, he'll most likely do everything he can to stay on top. If he's not number one, he's most likely working on it and will be sitting on the throne before long. You'll have more security than you can use if he is in a position to support you in the manner to which he feels you should be accustomed. He is apt to be too lavish, at least by your standards. You'll always have plenty of friends when you have a Leo for a mate. He's a natural-born wheeler-dealer and entertainer. He loves to kick up his heels at a party. Leo fathers have a tendency to spoil their children, up to a point. That point is reached when the children become the center of attention, and Leo feels neglected. Then the Leo father becomes strict and insists that his rules be followed. You will have your hands full pampering both your Leo mate and the children. As long as he comes first in your affections, the family will be happy and loving. Scorpio woman Virgo man. Although the Virgo man may be a bit of a fussbudget at times, his seriousness and dedication to common sense may help you to overlook his tendency to sometimes be overcritical about minor things. Virgo men are often quiet, respectable types who set great store in conservative behavior and level-headedness. He'll admire you for your practicality and tenacity, perhaps even more than for your good looks. He's seldom bowled over by a glamour puss. When he gets his courage up, he turns to a serious and reliable woman for romance. He'll be far from a Valentina while dating. In fact, you may wind up making all the passes. Once he does get his motor running, however, he can be a warm and wonderful fellow, to the right lover. He's gradual about love. Chances are your romance with him will most likely start out looking like an ordinary friendship. Once he's sure you're no fly-by-night flirt and have no plans of taking him for a ride, he'll open up and rain sunshine all over your heart. Virgo men tend to marry late in life. He believes in holding out until he's met the right mate. He may not have many names in his little black book. In fact, he may not even have a black book. He's not interested in playing the field, leave that to men of the more flamboyant signs. The Virgo man is so particular that he may remain romantically inactive for a long period. His mate has to be perfect or it's no go. If you find yourself feeling weak-kneed for a Virgo man, do your best to convince him that perfect is not so important when it comes to love. Help him to realize that he's missing out on a great deal by not considering the near perfect or whatever it is you consider yourself to be. With your surefire perseverance, you will most likely make him listen to reason and he'll wind up reciprocating your romantic interests. The Virgo man is no block of ice. He'll respond to what he feels to be the right feminine flame. Once your love life with a Virgo man starts to bubble, don't give it a chance to fall flat. You may never have a second chance at winning his heart. If you should ever have a separation from him, forget about patching up. He'd prefer to let the pieces lie scattered. Once married, though, he'll stay that way, even if it hurts. He's too conscientious to try to back out of a legal deal of any sort. The Virgo father appreciates good manners and courtesy. He will instill a sense of order in the household, and he expects the children to respect his wishes. He is very concerned about the kids' health and hygiene, so he may try to restrict their freedom. You have a magic touch in matters of health, so you can reassure your Virgo mate and allow the children some leeway. Scorpio woman Libra man. You are apt to find men born under the sign of Libra too wrapped up in their own private dreams to be really interesting as far as love and romance are concerned. Quite often, he is a difficult person to bring back down to earth. It is hard for him to face reality at times. Although he may be very cautious about weighing both sides of an argument, he may never really come to a reasonable decision about anything. Decision-making is something that often makes the Libra man uncomfortable. He would rather leave the job to someone else. Don't ask him why, for he probably doesn't know himself. Qualities such as permanence and constancy are important to you in a love relationship. The Libra man may be quite a puzzle for you. One moment he comes on hard and strong with declarations of his love, the next moment you find he's left you like yesterday's mashed potatoes. It does no good to wonder what went wrong. Chances are nothing, really. It's just one of Libra's strange ways. He is not exactly what you would call an ambitious person. You are perhaps looking for a mate or friend with more drive and fidelity. You are the sort of person who is interested in getting ahead, in making some headway in the areas that interest you. Libra is often contented just to drift along. He does have drive, however, but it's not the long-range kind. He's interested in material things. He appreciates luxuries and the like, but he may not be willing to work hard enough to obtain them. Beauty and harmony interest him. He'll dedicate a lot of time arranging things so that they are aesthetically pleasing. It would be difficult to accuse the Libra man of being practical. 9 times out of 10, he isn't. If you do begin a relationship with a man born under this sign, you will have to coax him now and again to face various situations in a realistic manner. You'll have your hands full, that's for sure. But if you love him, you'll undoubtedly do your best to understand him, no matter how difficult this may be. If you take up with a Libra man, either temporarily or permanently, you'd better take over the task of managing his money. Often he has little understanding of financial matters. He tends to spend without thinking, following his whims. The Libra father is patient and fair. He can be firm without exercising undue strictness or discipline. Although he can be a harsh judge at times, with the kids he will radiate sweetness and light in the hope that they will grow up imitating his gentle manner. In the interest of harmony, the Libra father may hide a few unpleasant facts of life from the youngsters. You will have to intervene and teach the kids about the birds and the bees, as well as the education needed to prepare them for real life. Scorpio woman, Scorpio man. When two Scorpios get together, it's either too much of a good thing or it's nothing at all. Can you put up with someone who is as explosive, as powerful, as possessive as you are? Perhaps you understand yourself better than you understand a Scorpio man. He's a lot like you in many ways, but there are lots of little ways he has that can irritate and madden you. The Scorpio man hates being tied down to home life. He would rather be out on the battlefield of life, belting away at whatever he feels is a just and worthy cause, instead of staying home nestled in a comfortable armchair with the evening paper. As passionate as he is in business affairs and politics, the Scorpio man still has plenty of pep and ginger stored away for lovemaking. Most women are easily attracted to him, perhaps you are no exception. Those who allow a man born under this sign to sweep them off their feet soon find that they're dealing with a pepper pot of seething excitement. The Scorpio man is passionate with a capital P, but your passion is a match for his. Both of you are capable of dishing out emotional pain while you enjoyed the sensual pleasure you have come to expect from this steamy combination of two water signs. You both can complement each other's strengths, or prey on each other's weaknesses. You both are blunt, angry individuals. The Scorpion stink can insult each other, wound each other, yet remarkably it can heal each other. One of you will have to keep a stiff upper lip, take it on the chin, turn a deaf ear at times. You both are under each other's love spell in spite of everything. If you have decided to take the bitter with the sweet, prepare yourself for a lot of ups and downs. Chances are you won't have as much time for your own affairs and interests as you'd like. The Scorpio man's love of power may cause you to be at his constant beck and call. Scorpios like fathering large families. He is proud of his children, but often he fails to live up to his responsibilities as a parent. In spite of the extremes in his personality, the Scorpio man is able to transform the conflicting characteristics within himself when he becomes a father. When he takes his fatherly duties seriously, he is a powerful teacher. He believes in preparing his children for the hard knocks life sometimes delivers. He is adept with difficult youngsters because he knows how to tap the best in each child. Scorpio woman, Sagittarius man. Sagittarius men are not easy to catch. They get cold feet whenever visions of the altar enter the romance. You'll most likely be attracted to the Sagittarius because of his sunny nature. He's lots of laughs and easy to get along with. But as soon as the relationship begins to take on a serious hue, you may feel disappointed a little when Sagittarius starts to back away. Sagittarius are full of bounce, perhaps too much bounce to suit you. They are often hard to pin down, they dislike staying put. If he ever has a chance to be on the move, he'll latch onto it without so much as a how do you do. Sagittarius are quick people, both in mind and spirit. If ever they do make mistakes, it's because of their zip. They leap before they look. If you offer him good advice, he most likely won't follow it. Sagittarius men like to rely on their own wits and ways. His up and at manner about most things is likely to drive you up the wall. He's likely to find you a little too intense and deliberate. Your competitive streak and compulsion to win will ruin the joy of the game for him. He can't abide an equally matched rival, especially one like you who against any odds may beat him. At times you'll find him too much like a kid, too breezy. Don't mistake his youthful zest for premature senility. Sagittarius is equipped with first-class brainpower and knows how to use it. They are often full of good ideas and drive. Generally, they are very broad-minded people and very much concerned with fair play and equality. In the romance department, he's quite capable of loving you wholeheartedly while treating you like a good pal. His hail fellow well-met manner in the arena of love is likely to insult the deeply sexual Scorpio woman. However, a woman who knows that his heart is in the right place won't mind it too much if he behaves like a schoolboy once in a while. He's not so much of a homebody. He's got ants in his pants and enjoys being on the move. Humdrum routine, especially at home, bores him silly. At the drop of a hat, he may ask you to dine out for a change. He's a past master in the instant surprise department. He'll love to keep you guessing. His friendly, candid nature will win him many friends. He'll expect his friends to be yours, and vice versa. The Sagittarius father can be all thumbs when it comes to tiny tots. He will dote on any son or daughter dutifully, but he may be bewildered by the newborn. The archer usually becomes comfortable with youngsters once they have passed through the baby stage. As soon as the children are old enough to walk and talk, the Sagittarius dad encourages each and every visible sign of talent and skill in his kids. Scorpio woman Capricorn man. The Capricorn man is quite often not the romantic kind of lover that attracts most women. Still, with his reserve and calm, he is capable of giving his heart completely once he has found the right woman. The Capricorn man is thorough and deliberate in all that he does. He is slow and sure. He doesn't believe in flirting and would never lead a heart on a merry chase just for the game of it. If you win his trust, he'll give you his heart on a platter. Quite often, it is the woman who has to take the lead when romance is in the air. As long as he knows you're making the advances in earnest, he won't mind. In fact, he'll probably be grateful. Don't get to thinking he's all reserve and reason. He's just inhibited. While some Capricorns are indeed quite capable of expressing passion, others often have difficulty in trying to display affection. He should have no trouble in this area, however, once he has found a patient and understanding lover. The Capricorn man is very interested in getting ahead. He's quite ambitious and usually knows how to apply himself well to whatever task he undertakes. He's far from being a spendthrift. Like you, he knows how to handle money with extreme care. You, with your knack for putting away pennies for the rainy day, should have no difficulty understanding his way with money. The Capricorn man thinks in terms of future security. He wants to make sure that he and his wife have something to fall back on when they reach retirement. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's a plus quality. The Capricorn man will want you to handle household matters efficiently. The dynamic and creative Scorpio woman will have no trouble in doing this. If he should check up on you from time to time, don't let it irritate you. Once you assure him that you can handle it all to his liking, he'll leave you alone. The Capricorn man likes to be liked. He may seem dull to some, but underneath his reserve there is sometimes an adventurous streak that has never had a chance to express itself. He may be a real daredevil in his heart of hearts. The right woman, the affectionate, adoring woman, can bring out that hidden zest in his nature. The Capricorn father is a dutiful parent and takes a lifelong interest in seeing that his children make something of themselves. He may not understand their hopes and dreams because he often tries to put his head on their shoulders. The Capricorn father believes that there are certain goals to be achieved, and there is a traditional path to achieving them. He can be quite a scold if the youngsters break the rules. You will have to soften his sometimes rigid approach and smooth things over for the kids. Scorpio woman Aquarius man. You may find the Aquarius man the most broad-minded man you have ever met. On the other hand, you may also find him the most impractical. Oftentimes, he's more of a dreamer than a doer. If you don't mind putting up with a man whose heart and mind are as wide as the universe but whose head is usually only in the clouds, then start dating that Aquarius who has somehow captured your fancy. He's no dumbbell, make no mistake about that. He can be busy making some very complicated and idealistic plans when he's got that out to lunch look in his eyes. But more than likely, he'll never execute them. After he's shared one or two of his progressive ideas with you, you may think he's crazy. But don't go jumping to conclusions. There's a saying that Aquarius are a half-century ahead of everybody else in the thinking department. If you decide to marry him, you'll find out how right his zany whims are on or about your 50th anniversary. Maybe the waiting will be worth it. Could be that you have an Einstein on your hands and heart. Life with an Aquarius won't be one of total despair if you can learn to temper his airiness. Aquarius always maintains an open mind. He'll entertain the ideas and opinions of everybody although he may not agree with all of them. His broad-mindedness doesn't stop when it comes to you and your personal freedom. You won't have to give up any of your hobbies or projects after you're married. He'll encourage you to continue in your interests. He'll be a kind and generous husband. He'll never quibble over petty things. Keep track of the money you both spend. He can't. Money burns a hole in his pockets. At times, you may feel like calling it quits because he fails to satisfy your intense feelings. Chances are, though, that you'll always give him another chance. The Aquarius father has an almost intuitive understanding of children. He sees them as individuals in their own right, not as extensions of himself or as beings who are supposed to take a certain place in the world. He can talk to the kids on a variety of subjects, and his knowledge can be awe-inspiring. You will sometimes have to bring the youngsters back down to earth, but you will appreciate the lessons of justice and tolerance your Aquarius mate has transmitted to the children. Scorpio woman Pisces man. The Pisces man could be the man you've looked for high and low and thought never existed. He's terribly sensitive and terribly romantic. Still, he has a very strong individual character and is well aware that the moon is not made of green cheese. He'll be very considerate of your every wish and will do his best to see to it that your relationship is a happy one. The Pisces man is great for showering the object of his affection with all kinds of little gifts and tokens of his love. He's just the right mixture of dreamer and realist. He's capable of pleasing most women's hearts. When it comes to earning bread and butter, the strong Pisces will do all right in the world. Quite often they are capable of rising to the very top. Some do extremely well as writers or psychiatrists. He'll be as patient and understanding with you as you will undoubtedly be with him. One thing a Pisces man dislikes is pettiness. Anyone who delights in running another into the ground is almost immediately crossed off his list of possible mates. If you have any grievances with anyone, don't tell him. He couldn't care less and will think less of you if you do. If you fall in love with a weak kind of Pisces, don't give up your job at the office before you get married. Better hang on to it until a good time after the honeymoon. You may still need it. A funny thing about the man born under the sign of the fishes is that he can be content almost anywhere. This is perhaps because he is quite inner-directed and places little value on material things. In a shack or a palace, the Pisces man is capable of making the best of all possible adjustments. He won't kick up a fuss if the roof leaks or if the fence is in sad need of repair. He's got more important things on his mind. At this point, you'll most likely feel like giving him a piece of your mind. Still and all, the Pisces man is not shiftless or aimless. It is important to understand that material gain is never a direct goal for him. Pisces men have a way with the sick and troubled. He can listen to one hard luck story after another without seeming to tire. He often knows what's bothering someone before that someone knows it himself. As a lover, he'll be quite attentive. You'll never have cause to doubt his intentions or sincerity. Everything will be above board in his romantic dealings with you. Children are delighted with the Pisces father because of his permissiveness. Because of his live and let live attitude, Pisces men are immensely popular with the young. For tots, the Pisces dad plays the double role of confidant and playmate. It will never enter his mind to discipline a child, no matter how spoiled or incorrigible the youngster becomes.